We've got a top 5 matchup in Serie A, and Bayern can clinch the Bundesliga title this weekend, which means Harry Kane can get a trophy.
Real Madrid continue to chase down Barca and Liverpool. The party is still going on. They are still your league champions. All this and more on this episode 64. Man, I'm rhyming. Didn't even notice that. Kick them off, Snooze.
Let's dig in. Yes, welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we're here with the full fam. We have Brainiac J-Fam on the ones and twos today. Danny P, he's here as well. We'll talk about that in a second. And, of course, everyone, the fan favorite, Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
I'll tell you what, we're still in a little bit of a celebration mode, so I went and opened the box of the still tanager that we have here. It's their cigar blend, their first release of their cigar blend. I think they're working on the second one, but this one is so good. It's at 106 proof. You know that it's 53% alcohol, which I think is the perfect proof. It is absolutely amazing. We're talking about figs, we're talking about sticky toffee, all kinds of shit in this one, plus a little bit of fruitiness in it there with the wood and everything like that. So while I cheers this to everyone, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you've had this before and you just want to talk about whiskey instead of soccer in the comments, let me know, because I'd love to do that as well. But while you like, I'll go ahead and cheers you once for the like, appreciate it, and another one for the subscribe. There it is.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that you get your woodsy, fruity, toffee, figgy stuff. You know, I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
And we have a full show today. We have a European wrap-up, European competition wrap-up. Of course, we just had the first leg of the semifinals going on all week. And then we have all 4 leagues back to normal, Vic. We get a normal schedule only for a couple more weeks, though, maybe like less than a month now. It's kind of sad, actually. And because I messed up last time, we do have to catch you up on the latest Austin FC Minute and a couple more things that we're going to talk about during this episode. But we got a lot to talk about, so let's get it kicked off. And we'll start off with boots on the ground in Austin, Texas for the Austin FC Minute.
Well, I wasn't too upset that we skipped it last time, because we looked absolutely terrible. We played Houston last week. It was the Juego de Lobos. Juego de Lobos.
Whoa.
Juego, not huevos. Yeah, because our ex-coach Josh Wolf went to Houston. He's assistant coach there, so it was Josh Wolf versus our very own Owen Wolf. Although Josh Wolf prevailed, his side prevailed. It was 2-0, but the game did not look that close. So Houston just dominated almost every aspect of the game. We looked pretty bad, and not only that, Danny Pereira, one of our star midfielders, also plays for the Venezuela team. Took a shot, absolute screamer from about like 30 yards out, but tore something. I forgot what it was, but he tore something. He's out 4 to 8 weeks now. So not 48, 4 to 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, enunciate that for a second, because I think you said 48.
And that's the worst part.
Scared me. That scared me. I was like, wait, that's like a year. That's not good. 48 still sucks, though. So.
Yes, he's out, but we do have a new signing that we got from Inter Miami, and everybody knows him just because he used to play with Messi, whatever. It's David Taylor. David Taylor, is that his name? Now I'm blanking on it. Oh, real quick. No, David Taylor's a wrestler. That's what I'm thinking. I need producers. What's his name again? I'm blanking on his name right now. This is very professional for us. Robert Taylor. That's what it is. Robert Taylor. And then we went over this. I was like Anthony Taylor, but no, that's the referee in England.
Referee, golly.
Yeah. Robert freaking Taylor. Robert Taylor, we signed from Inter Miami. He's going to be joining the winger. He's also a midfielder. He can play kind of both. And I think we need more wingers. And hopefully he fits in pretty good with Brandon Vasquez and Mirto Zuni. And we do welcome Minnesota United to Austin FC and Q2 Stadium this weekend. So we will be at that game. Snooze, you might be at the game. Are you going to the game? I don't know if you
I have 4 tickets to the game. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with them.
Leave a comment down below if you want to go with Snooze. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But yeah. We're looking forward to that game. I don't know how we're gonna play. It's been up and down the past month, so we'll see how it goes.
New coach stuff. And I just thought of something before we move on, since we have you center stage right now. You sent a text to all of us earlier, and I just got to call it out. I got to get off my chest. You said you were making food. Okay. So, yes. And then you said that you were brought food, and that you were just eating. So I would like to just say, I think there's a difference between making food and just eating food, right? So I just want your take on this situation, and just let me know what you feel, because when you said making food, I was like, you should start cooking right now. Like, we were getting ready for a podcast, but you weren't, you know what I mean? You're just eating it. So
what I meant is that I was making food because my mom had Cabo Bobs. All right. So she brought it back, but that was like at lunch. Like, it's been in the fridge with some tortillas that weren't fully made or everything. So I saw it in the fridge. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make this real quick. But I didn't know I had to heat up the tortillas.
You're not really making it though.
So
you know
I had to cook the tortillas. They weren't all the way cooked.
Oh,
and then I heated up the meat, and I just put it in a skillet because I don't like using the microwave. Okay. So I put it in a skillet. So to me, it was making food. I used the stove to heat up the tortillas, use the stove to whatever, and I just put it together. And I honestly didn't even think about it.
I'm not sold on it yet. So in the comments, let us know. Did he make food or did he just eat? It's just been bothering me this entire time since you said it, and I wanted to save it for the podcast because I just had to know. All right, we're done here. Let's go straight to the UEFA competitions and talk about what happened today and the rest of the week. Good. First off, a lot of cool stuff happened. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just thinking, what if Austin FC signed David Taylor, like a wrestler, for some reason? I
probably need it.
I don't know why. I don't know why I interrupted.
You would be the happiest person on earth right now, because it's just wrestling is the thing that usually grown men don't like, but he likes it a lot. So, well, today we had the Conference League and the Europa League going on, and we're going to talk about those matches right now. The first match we got to get off, I guess, talk about at least, is Djurgården versus Chelsea. Chelsea won that 4-1. They pretty much, we knew they were going to be in the final since they started in the first match day, so they're going to be there, sure. The other match on the other side of the bracket is Fiorentina versus Real Betis, and that ends 2-1 to Betis. But that was actually a really fun game to watch. Fiorentina got a late goal. It was 2-0 virtually the entire match. But Vic, I don't know if you saw the highlights from this one yet, but Anthony had a fucking ridiculous goal. Like, I mean, he comes in, he pivots, shoots with his left, and he gets blocked, and it just kind of like bounces in front of him, and he just turns his body, hits it with the right, and it's a laser. And it was insane. The crowd goes wild. That place was turned to 10. Like, go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, because the Anthony Goat jokes are like not funny anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, it's actually happening. But it was a fun match to watch overall. And if the Conference League ends up coming down to Betis, Chelsea, Fiorentina would be fun, but they don't have as much star power. They have Moise Kean, who obviously is really good this season, but I don't see them necessarily pushing Chelsea. Real Betis versus Chelsea is the match that I want to see, and that's hard to say because, it's our Fiorentina, right? But that's what happened in your Conference League. And now let's move to the Europa League, because, boy, we had some crazy stuff going on here. First, we'll talk about Spurs getting a 3-1 win over Bodo Glimt. And, I said that in our preview last time, right? I was hoping that we'd be either 3-1, 4-1, something like that, not to be disrespectful, but I just thought that Spurs were a bit better. They had more quality in the team, and they can get it done, and they do. I was disappointed because it was a late goal that they got, that Bodo Glimt got. So, 3-0 would have been way better. Now we take a 2-goal lead into Norway, out to Norway. How about that? And what I was hearing about is that they play on a turf field. It's not even actual grass. And supposedly most of the time, whenever teams in the top leagues around the world play on turf, it doesn't work out too well for them. So now I'm very nervous that it's only a 2-goal lead. I'm not happy about that. But it was a good game for Spurs. And then the other side was just the most insane game I saw probably all week. Was Athletic Club versus Manchester United. This was in San Mamés. This was in Spain, home of Athletic Club, and they get beat by Manchester United 3-0 and also have a red card in the process. I honestly was already expecting it to be Spurs and Athletic Club. Like, it wasn't even a doubt in my mind. And now it looks like it might be a Spurs United Europa League final. And that's just crazy to see. And the thing that you need to watch for the highlights here, if you're going to go watch them, is Harry Maguire, because he does look lumbering, is the best way to put it. Danny P said he looks slow. I didn't say that. That's what he said. But for, I think it was the first, maybe second goal, he's actually random enough on the wing with the ball, and he, just dances through the defense and puts in a perfect cross, and it goes through for a goal. And I'm like, it's just funny to watch a giant dude like that making moves, and it wasn't like he was smooth with it. That had to have been like a striker on him or something. I didn't see who was Athletic Club covering him, but man, just go watch it. It's hilarious, and it was awesome at the same time. But that ends 3-0. So we have a 3-1 and a 3-0 going into the second legs. So it's looking like it could be an all Premier League final, which hopefully, I don't know. I don't know which team, as a Spurs fan, I don't know if I'd rather play Athletic Club or Manchester United. Like, I was hoping for Athletic Club because if they lost, it's like, oh yeah, it's a home team, it's a home stadium, like whatever. But now if we lose to United, that's actually not good. We beat them twice this year already. So yeah, Vic, I don't want that to happen.
There are a couple of Man United fans that sit right behind me. So I doubt you're listening. But Ryan, if you're listening, JP, if you're listening, we talked about it earlier, and how y'all went up easily 3-0 going into the half. And then, we're completely like, oh, yeah, Man U's winning the Europa League champion. I was like, you'll be proud of me, Snooze. I was like, nah, Tottenham's taking it. But I think I was just being like,
there you go.
I was just like arguing with him. I don't know.
No, you're
really that.
If they, I think the Europa League final is like on a Thursday still, which kind of sucks. So if they get there, we'll definitely be watching it. Okay, let's move along to the Champions League, the main event. We had two pretty freaking entertaining matches. The first one we'll talk about is Arsenal versus PSG. That was on Tuesday, and man, PSG just look unstoppable right now. They get an early goal, a 1-0 lead, and pretty much just hold off Arsenal the rest of the time. Arsenal did not look like the same team that played Real Madrid just a month ago or less than a month ago. PSG, I don't know what they're doing over there to kind of stifle teams, but not only are they attacking and looking really good and flowing well, but they're really good on the defensive side as well. And to get a 1-0 away in the first leg is just, that's crazy. I did not see it going down like that. I thought we'd have a few goals, maybe come out with a draw, maybe Arsenal coming up or having a goal up going into the second leg. It just didn't happen. And so, Vic, anything you want to say on that one?
Just, PSG's best team in the world. They beat Liverpool.
Oh, that's right.
So they're obviously going to win this thing. So I'm not exactly, I'm not surprised by how they played. Best team ever. So, yeah, they'll probably win it. They actually, after they did play Liverpool, I was like, they're probably going to win this whole thing. And they have not looked anything short of going to win the whole thing. So
very, very good team. And, well, let's get through this next match, and we'll talk a little bit more about PSG. The second match of the Champions League was Barcelona versus Inter, and it ends 3-3. And this, of course, was in Spain because they have the second leg that's going to San Siro. And I can't remember the name of Barcelona. They're not playing at their usual stadium. They're playing at, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, that's why I just keep saying Spain. But either way, it ends 3-3. And the highlights coming out of that was Lamine Yamal was just insane. The kid is magic. Everything he was doing was just, it's like there's sometimes where he just decides that he's just going to turn it on and no one can stop him. He's dancing through defenders. He's putting in perfect passes, pinpoint. And of course he gets a goal in this one, dances between a couple. It looks like it's so effortless when he's playing. Like he's not really trying. And the kid is 17 years old.
Yeah, dude, it's the hair, man. He turned Super Saiyan. That's like he's going crazy right now, man.
That is true. Boy. And it's crazy to see him be so like mature too. Like I couldn't imagine being 17 and already winning the Euros and being like the best player in the world outside of maybe a couple. And the dude's just really, really good. And he's fun to watch. That's the thing about him when he comes into a Barcelona side like this with a lot of different star power on there, Rafinha, different players, Lewandowski. He's the one that kind of stands out the most, in my opinion. No, Rafinha might win the Ballon d'Or, so maybe people would tell me to slow down a bit. What's it called? Slow my horses. But he's just fun to watch, and that's all I can say about that. But Inter, they get 3 goals, and so this is going to make it a very interesting second leg at San Siro. I fully expect it to be a Barca PSG final, and I think that would be cool because both of the teams are going to be going at it, and there'll be hopefully a lot of entertaining goals in that one as well. But we'll see. We still have a couple of more matches to play, Vic. Who you think it'll be, Barca PSG as well?
Yeah, I think so. Barca it's just hard to bet against Lamine Yamal. You can't really say they've been absolutely better than Inter. I mean, it was 3-3. Yeah. But I think it'll be Barca and PSG, and Lamine Yamal in Champions League championship already. Like, this is going to be crazy to see.
That's insane. I will say though that Inter got most of their goals from, I can't remember if it was all 3, but I know for sure 2 of them were from set pieces, from corners specifically. So Barca, clean that up because the Inter, they shouldn't have had this many goals, especially, we just talked about it. The 3 matches prior to this match, they didn't score a goal. They were outscored, I think, 5-0 in the past 3 matches prior to playing Barcelona on the road in the Champions League semifinals. And then they go and get 3 goals, and it's 3-3 going to San Siro. Man, I can't wait. And we don't have to wait that long. They're just this next week. So we will have that all coming up. When is it? Monday? I guess we'll talk about it on Monday. Yeah, we'll recap this and see if anything's changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. There you go. Kind of promoting us. There you go.
Yeah, I know, right? Now let's move on to Italy.
Let's do it then. To Serie A.
And welcome to Serie A Matchday 34. We're going to do a look ahead. But before we do, Vic, tell them what Matchday 33 table looks like, sir, going into Matchday 34.
So that Matchday table looks very familiar. I mean, we talked about it before. Napoli is the new number 1. They have 74 points, able to take the lead from Inter Milan because Inter Milan are 2 straight losses. Pretty crazy to see, especially on how they've looked earlier this season, and also in the Champions League match that we just talked about. So, but Inter Milan in the second spot, they have 71 points. In the third spot is Atalanta with 65 points, a clear 6 points behind Inter Milan. And then rounding out our top 4 is Juventus with 62 points. Tickling the top 4 is Bologna with 61 points. They are fighting to get in that Champions League spot. Also, Roma, who just 1 point behind Bologna. In the number 6 spot, Roma is with 60 points. Tied with them is Lazio with 60 points. In the 7th spot, and we're going to go all the way down to 8th because it's Fiorentina, just 1 more point behind them. They have 59 points. So you have a 3-point difference between 4th and 8th. And anything can happen.
That's crazy.
Fighting for these European tournament spots, and it's going to be really good going into the end of this season. There's 4 games left, right? 4 games left, yeah.
Oh.
So all the marbles. Who wants it? 3 teams that didn't want it this season, obviously, is Venezia, although they keep their badge and their little star because they were in 20th for such a long time. They are still keeping the relegation status. They have 25 points. Empoli also has 25 points. They're in the 19th spot. And then rounding out the very bottom of the table is Monza, a solid foundation for Serie A. They have 15 measly points, cleared 10 points in last place. I think they're almost mathematically. Yeah, they have 12 points left, and they are down by 12 points. So they will get relegated with a Lecce draw. And then that will be that for them. We'll put a little R over their number 20. So anything you want to talk about?
Can't do it yet.
I know.
No, nothing I want to say now. You said it all, sir.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and look at this weekend's matches that we have coming up. And Snooze, let them know what we're watching.
Yes, this is laid out perfectly. This is a piece of art, if you will, because it's 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday, 1 game Friday, 1 game Monday. It's like a sandwich of matches, and it's just, I like it this way. So let's talk about them. On Friday, we get Torino, and they get Venezia. And while Torino are firmly planted at mid-table, Venezia has 4 matches to catch the Milkmen, who are 2 points above them. Looking at their schedule, though, this is one of their best chances to get points with Fiorentina, Cagliari, and Juve on deck. Obviously, Cagliari, they might be able to get points from there, too. On Saturday, Parma get their 7-match. They put their 7-match unbeaten streak on the line when they welcome Como to town, and Como come in off 4 wins in a row. This one could be interesting. Parma were a team I was looking at earlier this season. They kind of went on a very bad streak. But now 7 matches unbeaten. Como, good. I mean, this one, that's one of the ones you want to, it's a sneaky good one. Cagliari are still a little too close to comfort for those relegation spots, and they get a team that has hit the 40-point mark but has been terrible lately, losing 5 straight, and that is the Udinese, before drawing with Bologna last weekend. Honestly, if it was any other time in the season, I would put a little bit more on that one, but man, they are not good right now. That is Udinese we're talking about. The Milkmen's bid to stay above the relegation line will probably hit a snag as they get Napoli at home. And Napoli are new table toppers, and I can't see them getting anything less than 3 points in that match. Inter look to bounce back from back-to-back losses as they get Verona. And Verona, they're coming in. They come into the San Siro with back-to-back losses of their own. So Inter showed life against Barca on Wednesday, and I bet they can take the momentum into this match. But neither team, as far as the Serie A is concerned, have momentum coming in. On Sunday, Empoli get Lazio at home, and they are level on points with Venezia, but in 19th by goal differential. Lazio haven't lost recently, but they just haven't been putting in good performances, and they've been dropping points when they shouldn't be. So I'm not sure what they do here, but they can't take it easy. I'm not sure that they will lose or they will drop points to Empoli, but you can't take your foot off the gas. The AT Aliens at Atalanta get bottom of the table Monza, and after a disappointing draw with the Milkmen last time out, they need to get back on the winning side with Juve just 3 points behind them in 4th place. Got to make sure to put that gap up there. Roma get our Fiorentina in Rome, and it's a big match for both sides as they race for the final European places. Roma are currently in 6th, but only a point above Fiorentina. 3 points for either side can make this a big, big leap in the table for them. Our match of the weekend in Serie A sees a surging Bologna side take on Juve. We'll talk about this one more in a sec. And on Monday, Genoa get Milan at home, and Genoa don't really have a ton to play for, although they have lost 3 of their last 5 matches and probably want to do better to end the season. But Milan are a full 5 points behind Fiorentina in 8th and even further from finishing in Europe currently. If they're going to salvage the season, it starts with 3 points this weekend. All right, Vic, let's talk about Bologna and Juve, and I'm excited for this one because it's, like I was saying, 4th versus 5th. And we all know it's been a strange season for Juve in the last couple of months, especially as they have a new coach and Tudor's trying to figure things out. He's been tweaking things a bit. But all things considered, they're still a team that are in the top 4 and only 3 points off of Atalanta in 3rd place. So this could be a very good season for them, depending on who you are. Obviously, if you're a Juve fan and you think you should be winning the league, probably not. But overall, really good season for them. And that's why this match against Bologna is so intriguing, because Bologna are right behind them in the table in 5th, like we were saying, and just a point separates them. This Bologna side, they won me over with that Inter performance. Of course, we talked about it, how they were defending with their lives and they were playing to the very last whistle. And the way they left it all on the pitch just kind of struck me, and I'm rooting for them now. But it's, I don't know, you might be able to excuse the 0-0 they had with Udinese on Monday because of that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, high-charged, emotional win over Inter. But still, they should have won that match, and they wouldn't even be talking right now. They'd be above Juve. But both sides coming into this match, they've been in decent form lately, and everything's to play for here. They have so much to jockey for, I guess we can say, in these last 4 matches. The only thing that sucks for Juve, though, is the fact that they'll be playing without Yildiz, as we said last time in the recap. He got sent off, and so he won't be there, but they have more than enough attacking power to kind of get this over the line. This one should be good. I honestly don't know who wins this one. If there is a winner, I would say there's probably more a draw, in my opinion, like a 2-2 draw, something like that. Maybe 1-1. I see that being a draw, Vic. What do you see?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything but a draw. I just can't put one team above the other, but they need it because, I mean, the teams we
both of them
earlier,
do, right?
Yeah, they definitely need it, especially because they are in the position of 4 and 5. Like, they get that privilege. We just named earlier from 4 to 8, there's 3-point difference. There's a 3-point difference. So Juventus and Bologna are 4 and 5 of that. And then Roma and Fiorentina, 6 and 8, play each other as well. So if one of them gets a win, they can easily leapfrog either one of these 2 teams. So they need more than a tie or a draw. It's so hard to say that either one of these teams is going to win, though, and get that done. But I mean, this is what makes it exciting, dude. We got 4 games left. And these little matchups here, like
you give me hype.
4 or 5. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 8. Man, this is going to mean a lot to a lot of different fan bases, supporters out there.
If Bologna would have won last week, I would have been way more charged up to see them. You know what I mean? But you went 0-0 with the team who had lost 6 straight. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I think if I had to put my money on it, though, it's probably 1-1, maybe 0-0. So I couldn't pick a team
that would
winning.
make the chaos be a lot crazier, wouldn't
Yeah,
it? Like
it would.
if there's a winner, that's cool because we know something, right? But if there's a draw, they could the 4 through 8 could be jockeyed all around. So
it's crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is all for Italy for Serie A. I think now, Vic, let's go to Spain.
Let's do it then. To La Liga. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good.
Smooth.
I heard a bing and I got distracted. This is
Just
real
producers.
Life stuff, okay?
Producers telling me to
talking.
Chill. Yeah, they're telling me to chill. That's it.
Chill out,
I'm
bro.
moving. Sorry if I'm giving you guys motion sickness. He's like, hey, you're moving. You're moving the camera. Chill the fuck
Calm
out.
down, bro.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's get it started. This is match day 34. Look ahead for La Liga. Before we jump into the matches, Vic, where's the table stand?
Yes. Well, Barcelona are still number one. They have 76 points. They clear 4 points ahead of Real Madrid, who have 72 points. Atletico Madrid behind Real Madrid, a full 6 points, a full 2 games pretty much. They have 66 points in the number 3 spot. Athletic Club, although didn't get the win in Champions League, Europa League, they're not in Champions League. They did get a win last week that gives them 60 points in the number 4 spot. And then rounding out our top 5 is Villarreal with 55 points. Of course, they get 5 points in the Champions League. 5 teams in the Champions League this year. And then the 2 underneath them, Real Betis are tickling the top 5. They have 54 points, just 1 point behind Villarreal. And then Celta Vigo, a clear 8 points behind them, are in the number 7 spot. They're still fighting for that Europa League spot because 2 points behind them is Osasuna. What's crazy is the top 8 teams got a win last week. And we haven't really talked about them because they had a midweek matchup. But I saw that when I was making the tables. I was like, geez, they're all getting wins. Like one slip
they're
up.
Trying. They're pushing.
For anybody up there. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's take a look at the bottom of the table, though, because we do have some news, unfortunate news for myself. But we'll get to there in just a second. Las Palmas have the 18th spot. They would be, well, I can't say that because of what I'm about to say here in a little bit, but they have 32 points. They're in the 18th spot. Leganes have 30 points in the 19th spot. And then, holy guacamole, it finally happened, everyone. Real Valladolid officially, mathematically relegated from the league, but they've been doing their best to do so. They have 16 measly points, and they are gone. Sayonara, boys. It's been fun, and it was good to get a cup out of it, at least. And it sucks, man.
Hey, you know what? You'll have a team in the 2nd division. There you go.
There you go.
Something to look forward to.
Weird way to look at it, but yeah. Anything on the table you want to look at or call out?
No. You've already called it down. We're good.
All right. Well, this week we don't have a real good, juicy matchup to talk about. We still have some fun ones going on. Tell us a little bit about this weekend for La Liga.
Yeah, it's interesting because we just talked about how in the table everybody's kind of moving around, and if anybody's slipping up because they keep winning, then there can be some movement in the top part of the table. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say. If the people at the top of the table keep winning and someone doesn't win, then they can jump them, is essentially what I'm trying to say. And this weekend's a good one because there's not a lot of those teams playing each other. So they're playing teams they should be getting, on paper anyways, be getting wins from. So if there's any slip up, it could mean disaster, Victor.
And look what they're doing to my boys, Real Valladolid too.
I know, right? It's bad. And so let's jump into it. On Friday, we get a mid-table clash when Rayo take on Getafe. Both teams are essentially safe. Both teams are in bad form, and so I'm sure a draw would be fine for both teams. They just need to get back on the win column, or at least get a point in that column. On Saturday, relegation-threatened Alaves take on Atleti. And Atleti have only lost once in their last 5, but they aren't the same team they were earlier this season, and Alaves will hope they can nick a point from this team here. Villarreal are sitting in the last Champions League spot, only a point above Betis, and they get Osasuna at home. Osasuna come in on decent form as they've won 3 matches in a row and haven't lost in their last 5. Plus, they're playing for Europe in their own right. I mean, they're trying to get there as well. Maybe not to the Champions League, but something there. Las Palmas are now 2 points off Alaves in safety, and they take on Valencia. Luckily enough for them, they are at home, and we know about Valencia's struggles on the road this season. We talked about it multiple times. I think they've only won once all season on the road. And from a Valencia point of view, This has got to be 3 points. They have to get 3 points here. It's a top of the table versus bottom of the table clash when Barca travel to Valladolid. And this could get ugly. That's what Vic was just talking about. He was referencing, I guess. On Sunday, Real Madrid go for a 4th win in a row, and they get Celta Vigo at the Bernabeu. And Celta come in off their impressive 3-0 win over Villarreal, who had been on a tear prior to that. But this was just their 2nd win in 5 matches. So Celta, even though they got that win, they aren't in the best form. And Real Madrid need to stay on Barca's tail because we do have a Clásico coming up, folks. We'll talk about that later. Sevilla get Leganés at home, and even though Leganés are a team coming in relegation threatened in 19th place, they are in better form in the last 5 matches than Sevilla, and they have lost. Sevilla has lost 4 of their last 5, and they are free falling, folks. I don't think they're going to get relegated, but they're not going to be doing good just by the size of their club and the fans. They deserve more. Espanyol take on a hot Betis team who come in off back-to-back wins and their win over Fiorentina in the semifinals of the Conference League. And now both teams have been in decent form lately, but with Betis a point from the Champions League spots, they'll be coming in hell-bent to pick up all 3 points here. It's the final Basque derby of the year when Athletic Club travel to Anoeta to take on Real Sociedad. And this time around, La Real are mid-table, and Athletic Club are comfortably in 4th place and in the semifinals of the Europa League and have a lot of work to do there. So I don't know how much they push in this match because I don't know how much it means to both these teams, honestly, other than it being a derby. And on Monday, Girona take on Mallorca, and I have nothing against Girona. Let me put that out there first. I have nothing against Girona, but they are only 3 points from Las Palmas in the 18th spot, and I just think it would be crazy if a team that played in the Champions League, that same season got relegated. I've never seen it before, so I'm kind of rooting for that to happen. There are a bunch of ex-Spurs players, and we actually have a couple of Spurs players on loan there too, so I'm not a big hater for Girona. I just think that's crazy to see, Vic. Okay. Like Vic was saying, we don't have a lot of matches between top contenders or 6-pointer relegation battles going on. I wanted to highlight a couple of matches to talk about. And obviously we have a Basque derby, and I would be highlighting that one like we did last time, but none of these teams are playing that great right now, particularly. And specifically in La Liga, there's just not a lot on that match. The match that I am really excited for is that Villarreal Osasuna match, because Osasuna, they've been great lately, like I was saying a second ago. And Villarreal, they've been kind of stumbling a bit, but both teams jockeying for that position, trying to get into Europe. And that one could be a lot of fun, Vic. They have a lot of attacking power on both sides, and I can really see that one going down the wire. The other one, obviously Real Madrid, Celta Vigo should be good, but I'm going to go with a different one, Vic. I'm going for Las Palmas, Valencia, because Valencia's form is not a joke on the road. They've won once all season on the road, and Las Palmas, they're right there. They can try to get out of this relegation battle with the win. Valencia, I believe, are safe. I mean, maybe not mathematically, but just in general, they've been tearing it up. And so I just feel like this one could be very, very interesting because Valencia has to win. Las Palmas has to win. Something has to give, Vic. Something has to give.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Valencia are unbeaten their last 6. They've been in pretty good form so far. And if Las Palmas dig in, they can get out of there with a Deportivo Alaves loss as well. They can fight their way out of relegation. And we're hoping for that because Las Palmas comes to San Antonio pretty soon. I think we want to go to that, and we want to say we're watching a La Liga match or a La Liga team, not a second division team. So that I'm rooting for them. Rooting for Las Palmas.
And me too, because I made the joke that we'd go to San Antonio and watch 2 second division teams, and I just feel like that was an asshole move of me. So I didn't, I
forgot about that. That's funny.
The inside joke of that is that Austin FC, when they came to, it wasn't Austin FC at the time, but anyway, when they were coming, MLS was trying to get a team in Austin. San Antonio was super mad because they were like, "Hey, we deserve a team first. We put in a bid first. We should get a team." And then pretty much MLS was like, "Sorry, nope, Austin's getting it." And so.
We've
Sorry,
also
little bros.
They've also beaten us in the U.S. Open Cup.
Like the first year, right?
Like that? They beat Austin FC in some Open Cup. I forgot what it was. So, yeah, they're making a push for it, and probably deserved. By the way. So,
anyway,
I don't know.
Well, a second division team versus a first division team. How about that?
Yes.
All right, let's move right along then, Vic. Let's talk about what's going on in Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga.
Yes, coming down to the wire in all the leagues. And we're going into match day 32 in the Bundesliga. And Vic, give us a reminder of where the table was in the Bundesliga after match day 31.
Yes, sir. After match day 31, you had Bayern Munich still firmly on top of the league. They have 75 points. And as you've corrected my math earlier, just one win away from securing that Bundesliga title this year. And they will be the second league to be already clinched. So Harry Kane is very close.
He's one of our own.
Go ahead.
Harry Kane is one of our own. All right.
So Bayern Munich are on top. They are clear 8 points ahead of Bayer Leverkusen, never losing Bayer Leverkusen, who have 67 points. And then a full 12 points behind them is Eintracht Frankfurt. They have 55 points. And then followed by them is Freiburg. They have 51 points. And Snooze, if I were to tell you that there are two teams separated by 64 points of goal differential, would you believe me if I said they were the number 1 and 4 teams?
No, that sounds like 1 in 20 or something like that.
Yeah. Insane. The goal differential that Freiburg has made the top 4 with a negative goal differentl. And Bayern Munich has 61. We get crazy. So
are they winning every game like 1-0? Like and then when they lose, they're like, oh yeah, it's like
6-7-0. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but crazy stat. Just thought I'd bring that up. Because last week they were able to leapfrog RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig now tickle our top 4 there in the number 5 spot with 49 points. And then 1 point behind them, you can't figure him out, but Borussia Dortmund have 48 points in the 6th spot, trying to fight into a guaranteed Europa spot and maybe Champions League after everything this season.
Probably just crazy. That's just crazy.
And I'm going to rattle off the next 4 actually, because it's pretty close. We have Mainz in the 7th spot. They have 47 points. Werder Bremen have 46 points in the 8th spot. And Borussia Mönchengladbach have 44 points in the 9th spot. And then the 10th spot, Augsburg have 43 points. So you just have 6 points separating number 5 through number 10. And this is another one. It's a little bit more tricky in the Europa League spots that they're going to be fighting for. But either one of them could, or either one of the top ones could sneak into that Champions League spot. This is another one that's going to be going. It's going to be fun to watch down the wire, which is only 3 games left, and see who gets in the Europa League spot. The title's already pretty much done. So 3 of the 4 Champions League spots pretty much done. But that final 4th through 7th spot, 6th spot is going to be fun.
And, go ahead. Oh no, I was just saying, unlike in La Liga, a lot of these teams are actually playing this week too. So there's a lot on the line. Should be a lot of movement, hopefully.
That is correct. Where they're hoping for a lot more movement, as well as the bottom of the table. Heidenheim have the 16th spot. They have 25 points in that relegation playoff spot there, followed by Holstein Kiel, who have 22 points in the 17th spot. Going to have to make up some points there. And then boy, oh boy, Bochum in the 18th spot with 21 points. They are just one Hoffenheim draw away from being mathematically relegated, and they are going to be fighting for that. Or hopefully Hoffenheim will not score one, and Bochum will be fighting their ass off, hopefully, because they are pretty close there. Snooze, anything on the Bundesliga table you want to take a look at?
No, not specifically. I wanted to call out how that Dortmund, like just the turnaround that has happened, but I don't know if it's necessarily a table thing. We'll talk about it here in a second when I talk about their match, but I mean, just the fact that they're so close to getting in the Champions League is just, I mean, they've done it again. It's just insane. We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of top 5 matchups this weekend, but we will focus on Bayern Munich a little bit later. But tell us a little bit more about this weekend's schedule we have for Bundesliga.
Oh, yeah, it's a juicy one. It is a juicy one. Starts off on Friday, and it's a 6-pointer in the relegation scrap when Double H take on Bochum at home. There's a 4-point gap with 3 matches left, and a win for either side can confirm their place in the table. And on Saturday, Gladbach get Hoffenheim at home, and both teams come into this match in pretty good form, with Gladbach on pretty bad form. Sorry, not good form. Gladbach won. They're on 3 straight losses. Why am I trying to tell people that Gladbach is winning right now? They're not. They're in bad form. They've lost 3 straight, and Hoffenheim have back-to-back losses. Hoffenheim aren't safe yet, so they need 3 points here. Golly, that was a tough one. 2 of the hottest teams in the Bundesliga outside of Bayern and Leverkusen, of course, go head-to-head when Union welcome Werder Bremen to town. Neither team has lost in their last 5 matches, and I can see this one having some fireworks, folks. Plus, Union, we'll have to have like an episode in the offseason where we talk about like our bucket list places. But Vic and I have decided, or we've already agreed that Union are for sure on that list. Leipzig get Bayern at home. This match would clinch the title for Bayern if they were to win, maybe not lose. Either way, they can clinch. More on this one in a second. St. Pauli gets Stuttgart at home, and man, Stuttgart are struggling at the moment. I want to say St. Pauli, but that's not French. Why am I trying to say St. Pauli? St. Pauli are 7 points clear of Double H in that relegation spot. And man, they're thankful that this Stuttgart team comes in on this side of their schedule because they are very bad right now. Dortmund take on Wolfsburg at home, and Dortmund just seem to always find a way, don't they? It's just insane to me because they're 3 points from the Champions League spots, and Leipzig get Bayern, and Freiburg get Leverkusen. So legitimately, they could get 3 points on both of those teams. They could be fourth by Monday, Vic. It's just, how do they do it? Year after year. Crazy.
No idea.
Sunday, mid-table Augsburg get Kiel at home, and Kiel come in off the win over Gladbach last weekend, and they'll be hoping that spurs them on to 3 points from the Bush. I guess I was trying to think of a nickname for the Augsburg because have you seen the thing is just a bush, you know?
Yeah, a little tree.
I think I want to call them a bush, but anyway, spurs them on to get 3 points from the Bush as they really have nothing to play for. A team that has everything to play for in Freiburg, they get Leverkusen at home. Leverkusen are not coming off that second spot and are cruising towards the offseason, but Freiburg know that they can't drop any more points because, as we were just talking about, Dortmund and Leipzig are ready to pounce if they slip up. Eintracht look to continue the good vibes as they take on a sliding Mainz team who haven't won their last 6 Bundesliga matches. Mainz are, points-wise, they're still in the European race. We just talked about it a second ago. Vic pointed it out. But they have a lot of work to do, and they have to win this match here against Eintracht if they are to get it done. But Eintracht, man, they are a tough team to beat right now in the Bundesliga. Not for Spurs in the Europa League, though. All right, Vic. Let's talk about the main match of the weekend. It sees Bayern versus Leipzig. And we have to talk about this match because it's a clinching scenario. But Leipzig's form, it pretty much makes this a formality, Vic. In my mind, there's no way that Bayern don't win this match. Leipzig have dropped points in the last 2 matches. They got beat up by Eintracht Frankfurt last time out, and I just don't think they can beat Bayern right now, which means Bayern would win the title, which means that Harry Kane would win a trophy and shove it up all these haters' booties. And I know that haters will come because they'll say, oh, he's not actually going to get the trophy because if you didn't know this, he got a silly yellow card last match. And unlike most other leagues where after a certain amount of time, if you get, because it's 5 yellows accumulation, right? But in other leagues, after a certain amount of time, those wash away. They clear out. It resets. And it doesn't happen in Germany. So even though, get this, Vic, even though Harry Kane's first of these 5 yellows that he's accumulated was literally back on match day 1 in August, and his last one wasn't in, it was in February, he still gets a suspension for this match that they could freaking clinch the title and celebrate on the pitch. And it's just like, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
I did read that. Yeah, I did read that. You're right.
So, but all I will say is the haters will point that out. But all I will say is that, like Liverpool last weekend, they'll celebrate, but they don't actually get the trophy. Okay, they get that on the last match day. So he'll still be there for the trophy, assholes. He just won't celebrate the actual win that clinched it. Anyway, and I'm saying all this because it doesn't matter what Leipzig do; they're going to lose this match. Vic, do you see it any other way?
No, I don't see it any other way. I mean, Leipzig, I think it would mean more to them if they won, just to stay fighting for those Champions League spots, but I just don't see it. And yeah, I think Bayern Munich clinches it.
They need to win it.
Yeah,
they need to.
Can't see
they
it.
Won't,
yeah.
Though.
Yeah. I think Bayern clinches it this week.
Hey, I'm hoping. Okay. We got one more league to go through. Let's do it. Let's go to England.
Let's do it to the Prem. Man, I don't know if y'all... Okay, he just stopped. But my dog is snoring like he pays rent in this place. Oh, my God. Yeah, he was gone.
Now, is it your giant dog? I didn't even get to see. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. If you haven't seen it, there's a horse that walks by, and that's his dog.
Yeah.
At least, like, what, waist high? I mean, he's a massive
he's about
dog.
waist high, yeah. 116 pounds, I think, last time I took him to the vet, Andy. He's like skinny too. So anyway,
I
I didn't know if y'all could hear
waist.
that.
We waist high to us because we're not that tall of people. I'm a little taller than Vic, but it's like he has a tall dog. Okay, just put it that way. All right. Okay. Before we jump into match day 35, Vic, remind us of what the table looks like in the Prem. I'm sure you would love to do so after the match day 34.
Yes. Well, Liverpool are still on top. I even gave them their little trophy there. It looks great. Take a look at it right now. Look at it. It's nice, right?
Cute.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool on top. They have clinched the title with 82 points. So the only question now is how they're going to play out the rest of the season. I think Chiesa has like 5 minutes to actually win a trophy or a medal for this thing. I don't know. We'll talk about it a little later. Maybe.
That'd be a douchebag move if they don't do that. They don't get them 5 minutes.
Yeah. But Liverpool have clinched the title. They have 82 points, followed by Arsenal. They have 67 points in the number 2 spot. Newcastle United have 62 points in the number 3 spot. Manchester City still fighting their way into the top 5. Unfortunately, they have 61 points in the number 4 spot. And then Chelsea have rounding out our top 5 is Chelsea with 60 points. And then tickling our top 5 is also a tie for 60 points. Nottingham Forest in the number 6 spot, of course, behind Chelsea on goal differential and occupying the Europa League spot there. So there is a little gap behind Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. They have 3 points in between them to fight for that Europa League spot, but we could push down those spots a little more.
I want to call out that they did play Brentford today and lost 2-0. So because I have it in my mind too, like Forest, they were only down because they hadn't played yet. But then I looked and I was like, nope, they definitely have. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter because they have the same amount of points. So it didn't matter. I called it out and I apologize for that. But yeah, just to let everybody know, they did play today, which for us is Thursday. For you, it's yesterday. But yeah, they Nottingham Forest is, after being in the top 3 all season, they might miss out on Europe altogether, that would be horrible, man.
Yeah, I'm not. We were pulling for them, man. What a good story, and we were pulling for them. That's right.
It could still happen, but like
it will. Hopefully, it will. It will. No, it will.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Speaking of it will, these bottom 3 teams will be relegated. Ipswich Town are in the blah 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 spot with blah 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 points. It doesn't matter. They're relegated. I can tell you all kinds of numbers. They'll be gone next year. They'll be playing with Wrexham. They're going to go play with Wrexham.
That's crazy. That still blows my mind. The thing that I'll call out, since we don't have the relegated teams, though, is that we just talked about how, in the Europa League, the final could be United versus Spurs. Take a look at that table. That is your 16th and 14th place team at the moment, which the reason I'm calling that out, mainly because it's funny, but also because if either team wins that, if they do go on to the final, and obviously one of them would have to win it, then they would be in the Champions League. So then you would have a 15th or 16th place team in the Champions League, and then that would obviously drop down those places even further for the Conference League and the Europa League. So man, just a crazy year in the Prem. Mm-hmm. That's why Liverpool won it. Everything's crazy.
The Man U fans at work earlier today were talking about Man U winning in the Europa League, and they're like, yeah, I guess that's all we got going for us. And I was like, no, y'all pushing for the 14th spot, right? That's really good.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And they just looked at me like, oh, shut up. But they couldn't say anything. We won championship already.
I mean, they might end with the same amount of trophies, That's actually, no, I don't want to say that. Why am I sticking up for United?
Yeah, it's not, they might. You're right.
No, they're not. Okay. Anyway,
right. we're derailing here. Anyway.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, nothing else.
All right. Well, this is weird, everyone watching, because Adam gets to choose what matches that we actually discuss. We're actually Snooze gets to choose which matches we discuss. He picked Liverpool, but there are a bunch of other cool games this weekend. And tell us a little bit more about him, Snooze, and only Snooze, not Adam.
That is hilarious. Yes, I did choose y'all's match. It's because there's not a lot to play for. The Prem is wrapped up at the bookends. The bread teams are figured out. We're just figuring out the meat in between and cheese. That's a weird. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. On Friday, City take on the hottest team in the Prem when Wolves come to town. Both teams are on a tear, with City on a 3-game winning streak and Wolves on a 6-game winning streak. This one could be fun, folks. I'm actually very excited to watch that one. I just didn't want to call it out because, who cares about Wolves? They're so far down on the table. They are above Spurs, though. So, Saturday, Villa look to bounce back after their disappointing loss to City last time out, and they get Fulham at Villa Park. Villa are right on the cusp of Champions League qualification, so 3 points here is a must. And we were doing shorts prior to this, and it took me like 17 times to say that. And I said that, no problem, just one. Leicester gets Southampton, and I don't think anyone will watch this outside of their city or their fans, whoever. So, yeah, they're playing if you want to watch it. Everton welcome Ipswich to Goodison Park, looking to get a win after back-to-back defeats. Ipswich were relegated last week, so no idea how they play this match. Maybe they get some experience for the bench players. I don't know. Arsenal get Bournemouth at the Emirates, but we all know where Arsenal's focus lies, and the Cherries are mid-table and won't realistically get too much further than that, so don't know how much this matters. On Sunday, Brighton stopped their winless skid last week, but they get a dangerous Newcastle side who are now up to third and not looking to take their foot off the gas now. Manchester United travel to London to take on a mid-table Brentford side who they just beat Forest 2-0 today. And, man, no, that's not true. That was – yes, they did. Okay,
Yeah,
right there. Yeah, I did. You're right. Hey, I was doubting myself. But you're right. They just beat the Forest side today. And United, they aren't worried about the league. We just joked about it. They don't care what happens here. And pretty much that's the same as Spurs because they travel west to take on West Ham. And West Ham and Spurs are the two teams that are right above the relegated teams, which is really weird to say. But they have nothing to play for in the league, and they've been terrible there. Spurs have a semifinal the second leg of the semifinal we talked about a second ago. So I can see these teams. I mean, specifically as a Spurs supporter myself, I want to see them do something in the league. If we can beat a West Ham side, that would be pretty awesome just to get some momentum, some good vibes going because I hate that. I mean, it's not fun, Vic. I know you don't have to worry about it, but and actually that was a slide that I didn't even mean to slide. That was pretty cool. I said that. But anyway, if you're winning all the European games, that's cool. But when you're losing literally every every Premier League match, it's not fun. I don't know. It's not fun. Anyway, I can talk all day about this. Chelsea take on the champs. And I'm sure with no other competitions on the line, Liverpool are I don't know how they play this match. And the reason why I put it in the main spot is because I expect Slot to still roll out the stars and everybody's going to be playing. Maybe he tests out the squad depth because why would you risk your health if you're Salah and Virgil van Dijk? And why would you do that? But Chelsea, they're coming for the win. They're trying to get into the Champions League spots. They're trying to hold on to those spots. And I don't know. Vic, how do you tell me, what do you see this match going?
I don't know. There's a couple of things we have to play for, but they're all contractual things, maybe a little bit of history as well. But
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to say. I hope that he still puts some good feet forward. I mean, Mohamed Salah is 2 goal contributions away from setting a new record for a Premier League season. He's behind Alan Shearer and Andy Cole. They have 47.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading a lot about this, so I should know that. I believe that's right. But they in one season they have had 47, and Salah's at 46. So I hope he gets at least 2 more goals, 2 more assists to set a record. Not to mention that Alan Shearer, Andy Cole, they played in 47 games 42 match day seasons, and we're only doing 38. So that's a little bit more history there. Obviously a little bit more well fought from Mohamed Salah. And not only that, I brought up a little bit earlier, Federico Chiesa. I think he has 5 more minutes to play in order to get an actual championship award for winning the Premier League.
Medal they get or whatever.
Yeah. So I hope he gets that as well. Plays them, and then I want to see our young talent. Ioni is one of our. I think he's 17 years old. Not Lamine Yamal by any means, but he still shows a lot of promise. And we have a lot of young talent that I want to see out there. I want to see Endo get a start. He's a great closer, but that'd be great to see him get a start and see how he does for an entire 90 minutes. There's a lot to see, a lot for us to kind of test out, and I'm excited to see it. I'm going to be at BD Riley's because I missed the last one. I'm going to be at BD Riley's every game from now on. Okay. Except the very last game because I'll be in Cancun. So I won't be there for the ceremony.
You're celebrating too. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's still a big six matchup. Usually those are pretty fun. A lot of attacking sides on both sides. And I don't know. We'll see how Liverpool does it, but Chelsea will definitely be going for it. And you don't want to lose to Chelsea because no one wants to lose to Chelsea. No, definitely. And I forgot there's one more match on Monday. Crystal Palace, they'll take on Forest, who are definitely trying to get a win because, as you see, they are running out of steam. They're not in the Champions League places anymore, and they just lost to Brentford today. So there you go. Crystal Palace, go get it done. Or Forest, who cares?
Let's do it.
Vic, I think we've said it all. There's nothing else. We already did the European stuff. Yeah, look at us. Take us home.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for spending some time with us and talking about some European football. There's a lot to play for this weekend, guys. What is your team playing for this weekend? Let us know down in the comments down below. We love to interact with you guys. Say what's up. And love to interact. So follow us on all our social medias. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Sock Pod. That just went by a little while ago because the letters were too long. Everyone, it's going to be a fun weekend. Enjoy the football. We will all talk to you soon on the European wrap-up. Have a good one.
Peace.